What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Work Knife Balance. We got a package. I don't know what's in it, but I do know who it's coming from. So let's go ahead and head top down and see what we got. All right. So we before we get too far, I want to go ahead and say thank you to anybody who's already liked and subscribed to the channel. If you haven't, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. It's the best way to support the channel by subscribing and liking the content. You can also follow us on Work Knife Balance 939 on Instagram. We don't post a ton there, but we do use the communication part. So if you want to get in touch with us, that's the best way to do it. I check it usually every couple days. I'm horrible at social media. If you know me, you know that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the knife because this is what you want to see. I didn't remove any of the personal information on the underside of this package from the sender. This is coming from Shield Arms, which is another YouTube channel I will link below. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the package off and open it up, and then we'll put the knives out. But I wanted to share our unboxing knife today is going to be the Spyderco Smock. I just sent away the top liner locks, the Vosteed's new top liner locks, which we had into the channel last week, and really love the top liner lock, so I figured I'd pull out the Smock and carry this for a while because this is essentially a top liner lock in itself. This was just kind of what all of those reminded me of, and I really loved it. So pulled it out to carry it for a while. Now let's go ahead and open up a box with it and see what we got. I'm not the biggest fan of these priority mail boxes from USPS. I know they're great, but they are for shipping stuff, but they are a nightmare to open and close sometimes because you never really know the best way to open it because the final seal you just kind of cap off yourself. So I end up cutting one of these ends, but make sure I don't cut anything on the inside. All right. Oh, there's some extra tape right there. There we go. All right, cool. Now we've got it open. So let's go ahead and pull these out. Looks like we have, oh, hey, sweet. There is, I did not know those fit in here. Those are fairly large. Cool. All right, cool. That's it. So we are going to go ahead and open up this. This has probably got 3 or 4 knives in it. Looks like 3 knives in it. We are going to start over here. Oh, hey. This is Kizer's little Vanish. I believe this is a Jacob Lundquist design. Qvist made one of these. There was also a slip joint version of this. This is a much smaller version. It looks like, okay, so it looks like this one's called the Banish. I wanted to say Vanish, but it looks like this one is called the Banish. Probably because it's a button lock Vanish. I get it. That's pretty sweet. This is a cool little one right here. Kizer design, I'm going to assume 154. Yep, right there. 154 cm on this one right here. It is a front flipper. It's kind of a little front flipper. You can actually access that really easily. That actually works pretty well. I like that a lot. It is very small though. This is a super small little knife. Reverse clip on it right there. Micarta scales coming centered on it right there too, and the button lock, so you can do a little reverse flick in there. You can do a front flip on it as well. You can even probably not as well, but that could be user error on that. So cool. So we've got a Kizer Banish, which is the button lock Vanish, as one of them. Go ahead and tuck the plastic back in there. This one looks like a much larger knife. So we go from small to massive. 154 cm. This is Kizer as well. The Kizer, oh, the Momo. The Kizer Momo. So this is a front flip only. That was actually a pretty solid front flip for how big of a knife this is. That was actually really nice. I don't remember who the designer is for this one right here, but this is the Kizer Momo, and it is a very large knife. This is, you can choke all the way up on this choil here, and you've got room for 2, maybe 3 fingers on the back end there. I'm very curious to get the measurements of this guy and see what it comes in as. Fantastic design there. That is a really good fit and finish. The action on that is pretty sweet too. This clip is long, and I like the fact that they hugged the side with it, because I will say if this was centered more, it would probably be a little bit harder to hold. But because it's on that backside, you can actually, that was very smart design. I like that, because when you're front flipping, you need to have something to grab onto with a knife this size. And the fact that that is on that back edge makes it a lot easier to front flip and open that up as well. And the fact that it is a very long clip. That clip in itself is probably 2 inches, 2.5 inches maybe. So that's going to be really nice and easy to get in there and front flip that out that way. Yeah, I like that a lot. That was very well thought. I think you could easily do that kind of rollover as well. So if you wanted to, you can get up here and roll over. It is a little sharp on it. I don't think it's necessarily designed for that, because you see it come straight up on that, so it makes it a really high reach. But it is a little sharp. It's not the preferred front flip method. But it is definitely there. And this little swedge right here at the top adds a nice little design feature to it. This is the Kizer Momo. That blade stock looks pretty thin. I keep wanting to like flip it. I keep grabbing it because it's so big and wanting to flip it here, but there's not a flipper on it. It's just the front flipper there. Massive big belly blade. This looks like a kitchen knife almost to me, the way it's designed like that. And then you've got a little bit of extra room on the backside right here. If this was a little smaller, I would almost say this would be a sweet little like folding steak knife. And I've been looking for a really good designated folding steak knife. So you have any suggestions on a designated folding steak knife, feel free to put them in the comments below, because I've been looking for a good one. I really like the way that they match that swedge to the chamfering on the edge right here too. That line, that like wave through it, it just looks really good. And it adds really good to the ergo with the chamfering right here too. So yeah, I like this one a lot. This Momo, even though it's a big knife, I think this thing is pretty sweet. And then the last I'm going to assume is probably a Kizer as well, considering the first two were Kizer 2. And yes, I believe this is the Militar. The Kizer Militar. This one eluded me for a while there. This is one that I really wanted. I really loved the design aesthetics of this one. They have a new, I saw with some 2024 Blade Show shorts that they're going to, there's a DLC coated one with an 80s camo carbon, or 80s fat carbon through here instead of the micarta, and I think that one is the one that I would want to get. Ergos, this thing is so comfortable. Goodness gracious. Oh my gosh, this is a really nice knife. This one is a little bit more premium too. I forget exactly how much this one comes in at, but it is S35VN. So you've got a little bit more premium of a steel with the S35VN there. Titanium scales. It's a titanium frame lock. You could almost call it a bolster lock because you're covering up half of it with only the top part right there. I would say titanium frame lock with these micarta scales over on it. It looks like T8 hardware holding the scales on right there and holding it together as well. And then it looks like possibly a T6 on the pivot because that's a little bit smaller. But this is the Kizer Militar S35VN steel. See if we can see it, super tiny right there. This is another Styles design knife. So we've had a couple in from this designer. Absolutely really like the design style here. This knife right here is a really, really good, I think this is a really good representation of Kizer's work. You can see a bunch of different styles, and you can see a bunch of different kind of variations that Kizer does and what they can do. This kind of unboxing that came through is a really good representation of what Kizer can do, both on budget ends to premium side, and they even go even more premium than this. But they do a front flipper well, they've got the reverse flick well, they've got these fifth pocket knives super well. Obviously, these are designed by third-party designers. I don't think any of these are in-house Kizer only, or Kizer design only, so I believe all three of these designers work with other companies as well. But the production that Kizer can bring to these knives at 3 different variations from 3 different workers, I think it just shows the level that Kizer is bringing out, which is pretty cool. So, yeah. really excited to dive into these further and see more. We'll have a solo video for each and every one of these. I'm really loving this Milita. I really, really like this thing. I was so close to pulling the trigger on it, and I didn't. But having it in is probably going to make me want to pull the trigger on it. And this Momo, I think, too, is fantastic. So there will be links below to these. If they're Amazon links, they support our channel. If they're not, they're just for you to check out some cool knives. I don't have much left for you. It's the Kizer Milita. We've got a Banish, which is the Vanish button lock, and then the Kizer Momo here. Until next time, TTFN.